Hola clase, ¿cómo están? This is Señora Rump, and today we're talking about mi rutina diaria. The question today, ¿Cómo es tu rutina diaria? What is your daily routine like? The goals for this unit are students can describe their daily routine as it relates to hygiene and self-care. Students can use reflexive verbs in Spanish, and students are familiar with some hygiene products vocabulary. So we'll start with a quick review of verb conjugations. We have three types of verbs in Spanish: AR, ER, and IR. And our rules for conjugations: you drop AR, ER, or IR. That's called the infinitive ending. You look at the subject for who is doing the action, and then you add the correct verb ending to the stem, what was left behind when you dropped AR, ER, and IR away, and that will show who does the action. Here are the charts for AR, ER, and IR verbs. We have the infinitive. We remove that ending. We have the stem left behind, and then you look at the subject for who is doing the action. So in this example, yo hablo, tú comes, ellos viven. Reflexive verbs are verbs that show the action is done to the subject. So it's something you do to yourself. For example, I wash my hair. You brush your teeth. He goes to bed. All of these actions are something that you do to yourself. Washing your own hair, brush your own teeth, getting your own body into bed. To use reflexive verbs, we add something called the reflexive pronoun to show an action that is done to the subject. When it's yo, we add me, something I do to myself. Tú is te, you do to yourself. Él, ella, and usted all use the word se, something to himself, herself, and to yourself for formal. For nosotros or nosotras, we add nos, something we do to ourselves. Vosotros, vosotras, os. Remember that this form is used in Spain. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes also use se to show an action is done to themselves or yourselves. How to use reflexive verb conjugations. You can recognize a reflexive verb infinitive because it has the syllable se on the end. For example, lavarse, to wash oneself. We drop AR and se, and so we're left behind here with the stem lav. We look at the subject and conjugate the verb like usual with the AR, ER, or IR endings. So if we have if we have yo, it would be lavo. Then we change se to the correct reflexive pronoun. Since it's yo here, meaning I, it's an action to myself, so it's me. And then it goes between the subject and the verb. Yo me lavo. I wash myself. Here's a list of common reflexive verbs. Notice that some of them are stem changing verbs as well. Remember those verbs that change their spelling in the stem except for nosotros and vosotros. So vestirse, acostarse, dormirse, and down here, despertarse, those are stem changing as well as reflexive verbs. And over here, ponerse is irregular in the yo form. We'll see it in an example. Our first example is a regular reflexive verb, cepillarse, to brush oneself, such as your hair or your teeth. We took away arse, so we have our stem, cepilla. We added the regular ar endings, cepillo, cepillas, cepilla, cepillamos, cepillais, cepillan. Now we have to take that se and change it if needed to show the action is done to the subject. And then we add it in between the subject and the verb. Yo me cepillo, tú te cepillas, él, ella, usted se cepilla, nosotros, nosotras nos cepillamos, vosotros, vosotras os cepilláis, ellos, ellas, ustedes se cepillan. Let's look at some more examples. Dormirse. So it's an IR verb. It's reflexive. We see the se on the end. And it also tells us it's a stem changing verb. O changing to UE. This is to go to sleep. So we have our stem here. Duerm. O went away. It changed to UE. Duerm, duerm, duerm. Nosotros and vosotros do not change stem. Dorm, dorm. And back to changing the stem, duerm. We'll add the regular IR endings. Duermo, duermes, duerme. Dormimos, dormís, duermen. And our final step is to add that reflexive pronoun to show the action to yourself. Me duermo, te duermes, se duerme. Nos dormimos, os dormís, se duermen. Here's our final example, ponerse, that verb with the irregular yo. This is to put on, like putting on clothes, putting on perfume, putting on shoes. So the yo form is slightly irregular. You see it's P-O-N-G. And the rest is still this stem, pon, after we drop E-R-S-E. Now we add our endings. Pongo, pones, pone, ponemos, ponais, ponen. And our last step is to add in that reflexive pronoun. Me pongo, te pones, se pone, nos ponemos, os ponais, se ponen. So this was a very quick introduction to reflexive verbs. Not all verbs are reflexive, so you won't always use this. Okay, so if we go back a few slides, talking about yo lavo and yo me lavo. If I were describing I wash the car, I would use yo lavo el carro because the car is not my own body. If I want to say I wash my hands, that's where I have to add me. Yo me lavo las manos. I wash myself hands. Okay, I wash my own hands. So that's it for this presentation. Thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to hearing about your daily routine. Adios.